In just about 4 months, we will be playing The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And what's the craziest part is we have 3 trailers now under our belt, and we still have no clue what this game is even going to be about. There's rumors of the Zonai tribe being a big focus, and then obviously that figure that definitely looks like Ganondorf. We don't know really anything else. And we also, I guess, know that we're going to be in the sky, but there's nothing really shown about the sky but a couple of floating rocks, and that's all we have to go off of. So this game will be released on May 12th, which will be over 6 years since the original Breath of the Wild dropped on the Nintendo Switch, literally the launch of the console. 6 years for a sequel is actually mad, and a lot of people don't understand what's been taking so long with this game and are getting a little worried because what we've seen so far looks little more than some DLC for the original game. And a lot of YouTubers have compared the overworld to that of the Breath of the Wild overworld, and it's actually a one-to-one recreation. It's the exact same thing, and there's really no changes at all. I think the only differences are there's no Sheikah Towers or shrines to be found in the world right now, which led a lot of people to believe this is going to be the exact same map, so why is it taking 6 years for this game to release? Now, like I stated before, after 3 trailers and even a development update, we really don't have any information about this game, and I'm trying to figure out why that's Nintendo's plan this time around. Why are they trying to kind of give us piece by piece of a little bit of this game without giving us the bulk yet? I mean, it's 4 months away. What's taking so long? Well, I think it's safe to say we will probably get an amazing trailer during the spring Nintendo Direct, and probably its own Nintendo Direct dedicated to the game probably a month before, but why is it taking so long for them to show us? What are they hiding? Well, one thing we can confirm is that we will be visiting the skies above Hyrule, and as cool as this sounds, and I love the look of the new skydiving mechanic it looks like we might get, and even the patterns that suggest we might even be able to shoot arrows and fall in different ways, that's all great and all, but the sky islands don't look all that interesting, at least from what we've seen. They just seem to be a couple of floating rocks in the sky with different colored trees, but there doesn't seem to be a lot on them based on the trailers. And honestly, does it take 6 whole years just to add some floating islands and rocks above Hyrule? Not necessarily, and I'm trying to figure out why this is so important to the story. There has to be something else with these floating rocks that really changes the gameplay, because if the world is overall the same down below, what's the point? But what is Nintendo hiding from us? Why can't they show us anything really with the game within all of these trailers, and in fact with the game coming in 4 months? Well, they started off showing the game I think way too early, not knowing how much it was going to get delayed, but I started to think about maybe they just wanted to wait now. They show the game so much, they said the next time we show this game it has to be something crazy and huge that just gets people talking simply months before the game releases. But what is that something that they're hiding? Well, I think it could be a couple of things that could be pretty huge announcements for this game, and the first thing I thought about was massive new dungeons. One of the biggest complaints about Breath of the Wild is that it didn't really have the traditional feel of dungeons, and that's something that they could have been working on for the last 6 years, like 7 or 8 extremely in detail dungeons kind of spread across the skies of Hyrule, or maybe placed in existing locations that we thought could have homed a dungeon from the past game. I mean, we do see Link opening 2 massive doors at the very beginning of the 3rd trailer, and we also see some giant buildings spread across some of the islands in the sky, which could definitely home some dungeons that Link might have to visit and complete for some type of task. Aonuma stated that he wanted to keep the name of the game hidden for as long as he did because he was worried that it was going to spoil the game way too early. Well, we got the game, Tears of the Kingdom, and I don't think it necessarily spoiled anything, unless it obviously means something a lot deeper. Now, a lot of YouTubers have went into depth talking about what these Tears of the Kingdom are, and we did get to see a small scene of Link with the broken Master Sword. So a lot of people thought maybe we had to collect different various tiers of the kingdom in order to repair this sword, and those tiers can be tied to different dungeons all around the sky now. I mean, others have reported that the 7 tiers around that weird figure on the wall could maybe tie into 7 collectible things that we need in order to imbue to our sword, or maybe 7 tiers that are all trapped within in their own dungeons, giving us 7 unique dungeons within Tears of the Kingdom, and maybe that's something Nintendo wants to hide right now, because these dungeons could be something completely crazy, and it kind of spoils the majority of the game. Now, a whole bunch of themed dungeons would be really cool, and I really hope we get that return in the series, but there's something else that I still can't put my finger on. Mr. Aonuma also stated that yeah, we'll be going to the skies above Hyrule, but the game is also expanded even more than that. And we don't know what that means, and a lot of people have been trying to piece together what even more than that is. For instance, are we going to be going into the waterways within Hyrule, or maybe even the cave system? We've actually seen some caves that are now opened up in the second game that weren't there in the first game. But once again, even if the new addition is caves and underwater ways for Link swimming underwater, how does that explain why they can't show that right now? I mean, seriously, once again, there's 4 months until this game comes out. Why is that such a big secret where you can't show people some of these cave systems and networks? Well, because I still feel like this isn't what Aonuma was talking about with the second thing. There's still something massive that Nintendo is hiding. And at first I wasn't sure about this idea, but I'm even more sure about it now. There's one thing that I've been looking forward to for so long now, and I really hope that this is what Nintendo has been working on, and that is a parallel version of Hyrule, whether it be the Dark World or Lorule or something entirely different for this brand new game. I would love to see a parallel dimension version of Hyrule with Breath of the Wild's massive open world. Imagine seeing everything that you've seen from the original Hyrule and Breath of the Wild, but in a different universe where things look different now. Like, you can kind of make out what places are supposed to be based off of the original Hyrule, but they're different and they just look wackier and weird, and everything's darker, and there's more mountain ranges and there's more creepy, crazy creatures, but there's also its own society of people, because there was a whole population that lived in this place, even though it was in a dark alternate universe, and that's what made it so interesting. I would love to see a new world of people in an entirely new version of Hyrule. I mean, seriously, I can see this 100% being the thing that they've been hiding for so long, because it's such a massive plot point. It changes everything. Imagine just seeing a trailer of Link falling from the sky, and then it just kind of warps him into a new kingdom, and he's falling down into this brand new version of Hyrule in this parallel universe. I mean, seriously, I think all of our jaws would drop to see the new version of Hyrule Castle, which would be like Lorule Castle or the Dark World version of Hyrule Castle. And maybe Link has to go back and forth between the Overworld and the Dark World. I mean, this is something that's so massive, I can definitely see it taking 6 years, because they're overall developing a brand new map. Even though some of the places would look kind of similar, they will be altered completely different because of the new version of this Hyrule that Link is in, and I can definitely see that being the big mysterious thing that the Zelda team has been hiding. We also get to see some weird symbols spread across the land, and maybe they just take us to islands in the sky, or maybe they're warp points to the opposite version of this Hyrule. Maybe they take us to this exact same location, but in the Dark World version. Or maybe it's not even about Link traveling back and forth between the two worlds at all. It's more about Zelda exploring the Lorule and Link exploring Hyrule. That would be really cool, and maybe the things that they do in each of their respective kingdoms help each other on their respective worlds. That would be really sweet. But I don't know, it's impossible to say. It just seems like something that Nintendo could definitely have been working on, and something that they're going to surprise us with very soon. But of course, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. What do you think this big secret is that Nintendo is hiding from us? What is this Zelda team keeping under wraps so closely that they don't want to show us in any of the trailers before this game comes out? Like I said, we're only 4 months away until this game drops. There has to be something massive that Nintendo is hiding. What do you think they're hiding? Because it's got to be more than just these Sky Islands. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, because you know big information is coming very soon. But thank you guys for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.